And we're back. Same location as I shot the last video. If you guys haven't checked that one out, I cover my harness setup for ice climbing. But in today's video, we are going to be covering helmets I've used for ice climbing. And for starters, we're going to go to the Petzl Sirocco. So the Sirocco is an ultra lightweight helmet. It's a really interesting helmet. It's feather light. You hardly notice it on your head. It's kind of why I wanted to get it, just so I wouldn't notice anything on my head. I wouldn't feel compromised. It's a good helmet. It's got some unique things like the buckle for the helmet is a magnet setup. Some people do like this, some people don't. I actually really liked it just for the fact that I could get it on with gloves. I wasn't having to, I could wear thicker gloves and I wouldn't have to like fight to figure out where the buckle was. So that's a big plus. But the other thing I wanted to get is that its adjustment system was pretty simple. It's just a piece of webbing that goes through, and then to tighten it, it goes this way and all that, and everything's on sliders. So yeah, it's a very basic adjustment, but the reason why I wanted this adjustment was actually for climbing with a little bit longer hair. With other helmets that go with a more modern ratcheting system in the back, every time I've done it when I've had a little bit longer hair, I've always got hair caught up and I've caught in the system and I've always pulled hair out. So that's been kind of a pain. So I've always eyed up this helmet. Yeah, I've been wanting this helmet for a while and I'm pretty happy to have it with a little bit longer of hair. Put this on for size, and then yeah, it's just a little simple piece of webbing. The hair doesn't really get in the way. Kind of just folds over and then magnet finds itself. Oops. If you have your hand in between, it doesn't connect. Then yeah, magnet finds itself and then your helmet's on. It's kind of a different style of helmet too. It's a little bit narrower and a little bit taller. It's pretty sleek and very streamlined. I guess a lot of Petzl helmets are kind of that ergonomic sort of feeling to them. Not super low, not low volume, but kind of low volume. But like BD helmets are always like pretty small to your head. Petzl helmets always go a little bit higher. But the one thing with Petzl helmets that you get is they're super protective. They go through rigorous testing on the top for protection and the side. They meet UIA standards, and it's a really good helmet just for all the safety and everything you get. I also think with the Sirocco, it's like backcountry ski rated too. So that's another plus. So you can have a helmet that can both climb and ski. And you definitely want, if you're going for this helmet and you're going for the lightweightness, you definitely want to make sure you get the right size. So the Petzl Sirocco does come in a small, medium, and medium to large. And my first go around, I went to a small, medium, and it was just too narrow for me. I mean, this is a pretty narrow helmet, and it would just sit above right here where it just didn't feel comfortable. I just knew that something wasn't really right with it. So a little ways down the road, I got the medium to large, and it is a perfect fit for me. It's one of the best fitting helmets I've ever had, which I thought the Black Diamond Vision helmet was probably the best one I had, but I really like this one. I've been rock climbing in it, and I love rock climbing in it because I just forget about that I have it. So I'm excited to ice climb in it. The only other thing that I've heard is that because this helmet, and this is what kind of makes the Sirocco unique, that the whole Sirocco, all this black foam material is EPP foam, so it's all flexible. And EPP is it's a flexible foam, basically can take a little bit of an impact and it just kind of bounces, whereas they have an EPS puck in the center of the helmet. That EPS puck in the center basically, and kind of goes with the crown, is that if you hit something on the crown, this should take the brunt of it, and if this fails or it takes a hard enough impact, it will crack. So then basically the force that's given, it stops it because the foam cracks, whereas EPP foam doesn't crack, it just kind of bounces. The only kind of negative I've heard about this helmet when ice climbing is that if you're ice climbing and you take down a lot of ice above you and it hits your helmet, it can start taking out chunks just because ice kind of just cuts into that. So after a season of hard ice climbing, if you dump a lot of ice on yourself, you might just find that your helmet has taken a little bit of a beating after ice climbing. So that's one little negative, but all these helmets nowadays are going to EPP, so it's not a huge deal. So yes, this is the Petzl Sirocco. I'm super excited to ice climb with this season. Now for the next helmet, we're going to be looking at the Black Diamond Vision helmet. I did a review on this earlier. It was kind of the end of ice climbing season, so I've had, I think, right around almost 2 seasons of climbing with this, and I really do like it still. I like that the Black Diamond Vision has more coverage than the Sirocco, because the Sirocco is only about right here, whereas the Black Diamond Vision has good coverage for its hard shell. That was really nice. I really like that. Again, kind of got into this helmet because it was EPP on the sides. Just a little bit more durable, makes it so just in case you bonk your head, it's not going to crack and then you have to get a new helmet, whereas EPP just kind of takes the abuse and just keeps going forward. It just rebounds. It's a little bit more bouncier than the Sirocco. Sirocco has definitely a harder feel, whereas this is kind of a bouncier feel. The other thing about it is that it's really thick around the brim. I definitely noticed that when I was ice climbing, that just having that thicker brim, like whenever I was looking up to see where I was trying to put my ice axe, definitely noticed the brim a little bit more. And the big thing with this is that it has a ratcheting system in the back, which for fine-tuning your adjustment, or fine-tuning your adjustment, for fine-tuning your fit for your helmet, the ratcheting system, you get a really tight fit and it feels very secure. Like you could get it to the point where you could have your buckle undone and you could hang upside down. The helmet should stick on. Not that you should have your chin strap undone, but that's how kind of ratcheting systems work, is they just really tighten down the fit. That's great. I loved it when I've had short hair, but when I've had longer hair, I just don't like how my hair gets caught in the back. It's one of those things that, I can mitigate by wearing like a buff or something like that, but I just don't like that all the time. But overall, this is still a really great helmet. Petzl Sirocco is, again, it's kind of Petzl's highest end helmet. So it's a little bit more expensive than the Vision. I'm pretty sure the Vision sits at $99. Let's put the price back on the Sirocco because I didn't mention it. But I think the Sirocco is like $130 or something like that. I'll get the real price in that section as an editor's note. But so the Vision's a really good helmet. It's got a lot of technology in it. It's got the same EPS puck in the middle. Just another one of those kind of standard features. So that's really nice. Like I said, pretty affordable for all the technology you get. Speaking of technology, there is the built-in headlamp clip with the shell. For some, that's really nice because they were kind of marketing it as if you put this over your, a hood over this, it wouldn't get caught. That was true, but the one thing I didn't like about it is when I would try to put a headlamp on it, it was harder to find. Like if you had your helmet on, you almost had to take your helmet off just to put it on. So that's one thing I didn't really like about it. Other than that, super great. I will say that Black Diamond, I think in spring 2023 or maybe summer 2023, there's going to be a new, I think it's called the Black Diamond Vapor. I'm not sure. I'll put a picture up, maybe a video. I'll also put that up. But it's basically going to be a competitor for the Sirocco. This was kind of the mid-step for Black Diamond, where it's not truly competing with Sirocco, but it's still pulling people away from the basic helmets, just the basic hard shell helmets. So it's the perfect middle ground. You get a lot of technology for a good price point. The other thing I will note is that this helmet's kind of weird for me for fitting, is that I've tried with this helmet to get a medium to large, and the medium to large was really big. I had the ratchets all maxed out, whereas this is the small to medium. So again, it's definitely a thing of you need to try on a helmet first before you get it to really figure out if it's going to work for you, because you don't want to buy a helmet just for looks and then it not fit correctly. really shouldn't do that. You need to get a helmet that fits you, but just taking that extra time to figure out what is your fit and not just guessing on what your fit is, that's a really good thing to do. But this is a small to medium from Black Diamond. This is how it kind of fits. Looks around side profile. Nothing too fancy. Kind of sticks up a little bit. It's a little bit more lower profile than the Sirocco, so that's kind of nice. Like I said, ratcheting system in the back. You can pull it down to get down farther. Loosens, tightens. Pretty good. The other thing that kind of drove me nuts about this helmet is that the ear strap where it connects with the Y, this is just a sewn piece, so you can't adjust where these go. You can adjust your chin strap so it can go lower, but you can't adjust where the ear strap lays. And that, there's been just a couple of times where if I just put it on with my hair is like sticking up farther, I just found that when I'd be climbing that I'd have that ear strap, or yeah, the ear strap laying right on my ear. So that's not, it's not great, but it's not bad. It's just meh. It's another slightly annoying thing, but yeah, so this is Black Diamond Vision. It's a really good helmet. I still like it. I use it for kind of my more chossy routes that I know I might take on more things. I'll probably continue to use it for kind of the same thing if I'm dealing with something that's more brittle ice and I know that I'm going to take a lot more ice to my head or towards face. Probably opt to use this one more just because that shell goes pretty far down, so if ice is coming down, I can basically just put my head down, so then the shell takes more of the impact rather than just the pure foam. Because again, same thing, because it's using EPP foam, it's going to take a little bit more of that impact. So yeah, this is the Black Diamond Vision. So this is the final helmet I have. This is the Petzl Boreo. It was the first helmet I got for ice climbing and climbing. It's a very heavy, durable helmet. It's got a thick shell on it. It's got ratcheting adjustments, a little bit more fine-tuned than the Black Diamond Vision. It's a lot more parts to it. Same sewn thing, I didn't even notice that. But the ratcheting system is a little bit, yeah, there's just a little more to the ratcheting system. It's pretty heavy, it'll take a lot of abuse. It's a very good beginner helmet. If you're just getting into ice climbing, this is probably a helmet I'd recommend. Because generally with ice climbing, I mean, you need to start with the Sirocco and the Vision. Their kind of claim is that they're lightweight and still durable. And with the Sirocco, it's class leading for lightweightness. So it's like, those are really great if you're just packing in a lot of gear into the backcountry to go ice climbing. Whereas this kind of excels at if you're just going to go like kind of ice cragging or just even basic rock climbing. This is a great helmet to have just for your basic things. It's affordable helmet. I'll put the price up. I can't remember. I thought it was like maybe $70. I'm not sure, but I'll put the price up. It's a great helmet. Does everything really well. It's heavy. I think the comparable ones, I think it's the Black Diamond Half Dome helmet is the really comparable one to this. They do use some different things. Oh, also, there is a new helmet that just came out. It's called the Black Diamond Capitan helmet or Captain helmet. That one is another competitor to this, and I think that one's probably better than this one, which is pretty crazy because I'm normally a big Petzl guy. I really like Petzl. But I think that helmet's going to be better, and I'll go into it right now. So this helmet has a different foam construction. So the last two were EPP on the main shell and then an EPS puck in the middle. Whereas the Boreo actually goes with EPS foam all around and then EPP puck in the crown. So that's different as construction. And they're kind of going with, you don't really need a totally flexible foam because you have this thick, rigid shell around it, so it should kind of hold it. But the one thing that this has against it is that, again, if you're going ice climbing and you accidentally get like a piece of ice that kind of falls and hits this like one pillar right here, well, if that pillar gets cracked, then the whole helmet's shot. And that's kind of the one downside with EPS foam, is that it's kind of like, it's the balance of like, it's pretty lightweight still, but still pretty affordable. So a lot of your more affordable helmets will have EPS foam. Just the one downside is the longevity, is because all it takes is really like one good strike to the helmet, and then that foam can crack, and then the helmet shouldn't be used anymore. It's just to the point where the integrity of the foam is not there anymore, so it really should be replaced. But so that's the Petzl Boreo. It's got EPS foam, but the Black Diamond Captain helmet, or Capitan helmet, it has EPP all inside with a hard shell over. So that, I think, is going to be one of the more beginner helmets to beat. Petzl hasn't moved on to EPP foam in their Boreo yet. They're still going with EPS. So I think for right now, that new Black Diamond Captain or Capitan helmet is going to definitely be the one to beat. But still, overall, great helmet, durable. It's going to last you years if you don't take a big hit back to it. Yeah. And this one I got in a medium to large. I think now it could fit into a small to medium, but again, kind of don't really know with Petzl, because like I got the Sirocco kind of based off of this, that this was the medium to large, and I always thought that this was big, and it is pretty big on me. And like I felt like they had the rationing system a little bit, like I felt like it was pretty close to what I had on the medium to large Black Diamond. So I was like, I thought I'd get this as a small to medium, but with Sirocco, it's a little bit skinnier, so that didn't work out. So this is a medium to large. This is how it kind of fits. Again, with Petzl helmets, they're really tall. They kind of stick out like you have a fin. Some people don't like that. I don't mind it. It's just kind of the look, I guess. The rationing system in the back, again, pretty nice. It's a little bit more refined than the Black Diamond one, which makes sense because there's just more components to this. It's just, they're not really focused on weight saving. So overall, great helmet, very durable, very affordable to get. And yeah, so this is the Petzl Boreo. Alrighty, so that does it for me for talking about helmets I've used for ice climbing. Everything that I'm reviewing here can easily be applied to rock climbing, but I just more focusing on that ice climbing perspective. Definitely excited this year to climb with the Sirocco. Always excited to get new gear and, you know, kind of refine my kit. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this review, and I will see you guys in the next one.